out to the Allgood City Council meeting scheduled for August the 8th, 2017. We'll begin with roll call.
Honorable Mayor Bilbrey,
Present.
Honorable Vice Mayor Dyer,
Present.
Honorable Councilwoman Norris,
Present.
Honorable Councilman Hurd.
Present.
Our invocation will be led by Bill Matheny.
Shall we pray? Our Father in heaven, Lord, as we humbly bow, just as humble as we know how, we come thanking you, Lord, for the many blessings of another day of life. We thank you for your love towards us, for hearing and answering our prayers. We thank you for the privilege we have to serve you. We pray, Lord, you look down now and touch those that are sick, those that are in need. We ask you, Lord, to touch your bodies and heal them, fit your will. Comfort them that's lost their loved ones. Give them strength to go on from day to day. Fill that emptiness and void in their heart and life as only you can do. Well, Lord, we ask you to bless this meeting here tonight. Everything be said and done, Lord, according to your will. When you get through us, Lord, in this walks of life, you give us all a home in heaven without the loss of any. We'll not fail to bow our heads and give you the praise for everything. As we ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance. David Maynard, would you lead that for us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is to consider the approval of the agenda as presented. And I think everybody's had a chance to look at that. Is there any changes?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. Roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Consider approval of minutes of the council meeting held on July the 11th, 2017. The minutes are attached there. I think everybody's had a chance probably to look at those. Is there any changes that need to be made?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. Roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Next item, consider approval to award fire hall bids 2. Keith, would you like to speak to that?
AEI has been working with the low bidder from the previous bid. It was fuel tank maintenance. They have came up with a list of items to deduct, which I put on your desk this evening. It's under that Main Street paving. They are asking that we go ahead and consider awarding the building bid. We're not going to be able to get the site work number together that quick, but they need to go ahead and lock in the subcontractors for the building. So if they could go ahead and get this list finalized, make sure what you want cut off of the building list, they could go ahead and award it at that price, knowing that we're going to have to come back and get your approval for some site work completion to be able to put the building there. It's not going to be a lot, but we're trying to work on what that number is going to be, where the elevations are, and what's left to do. But Victor Jones and his crew have done most of the removal and have gotten it pretty much pad ready, so we're just trying to figure out where that final number is going to land to get them to do a little bit of site work to finish it up.
So we got no idea where we're going to come in at, other than this 511, 55.
There'll be a little addition to it for the site work allowance. It's going to be definitely a lot less than the $150,000 that was really originally estimated. Assuming you all take all of these deductions, the bid for the building would be $511,550, and then whatever the site work would be to come back to be approved by you all.
One of the deductions listed there, and I guess I'll ask Victor this. Deduct to change a generator to a dual fuel Generac 45 watt. Is that a big issue?
No, what they're doing is ISO is requiring us to have dual fuel. And, they said that the one they had, they could get one a little bit cheaper, come into a little bit better price on it.
Okay. Because I don't want to take anything out that's needed or is going to, something we're going to have to replace.
Well, John said that what they put in it would work.
Okay.
This is basically just a brand name change to save the $5,000 there.
We've got, what, 500 laid back to do this, correct?
550.
500,000.
500,000.
Is it 500 even?
It is.
Okay.
So we're still over at, we're still over 11,550, and that's not to include whatever they're gonna come back with, correct?
On the site work, yes.
So we could come back even higher than that?
Yep.
My opinion is get her done. Just get her done. What's your opinion?
Well, I'm just concerned about the budget. You know, we did that budget, and we got that money laid back. Where's the rest of it gonna come from? I think it needs to be done. I agree with you 100%, but I think we need to know where that money's at before we do that. Because you only have, you know, you're looking at 511,000 right there, and you only have 500,000, plus you're gonna have more on top of this. So that's gonna eat into somebody else's budget, or we're gonna come up with some money somewhere. That's the only concern I got.
Well, then let's come up with the money somewhere.
Great idea. Where can we start?
I don't know. We spent 14,000 on a roof and said we'd gladly spend 250 on that building down there, so 11,000 is not a whole lot of money considering those two projects.
We'll have to pull some.
Well, 11,000, not just the 11,000.
Right.
It's what's coming, it's the pig in the pocket. You don't know what's coming.
Well,
That's what you gotta think about.
just like everything else that we get into, there's gonna be that aspect of it, or possibility of it, but we're sitting on 8.8 million. I don't think we're gonna miss $11,000 or $15,000.
How long has this been going on?
Oh,
Too
about 6
long.
or 7 years.
I think we need to go on with you. Myself.
Motion.
I make the motion, we go on with you.
You gonna second it, Richard?
I'll second it.
Motion second on the floor, roll call vote?
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to our next item. New business, consider approval to appoint or suspend reading of ordinance 620-17. We'll speak to that shortly. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, roll call vote?
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
The floor will now be open for second and final reading of ordinance 620-17. Consider approval of second and final reading of ordinance 620-17, amending the fiscal year 2016-17 budget passed by ordinance 607-16. Keith?
This is an amendment to increase the cemetery expenses by $2,000 to cover the mapping of the new cemetery section that we did last year that will allow us to sell those new lots. And so this is just coverage for that expense.
Discussion?
Will this final mapping take care of everything that you wanted to accomplish, Keith?
This mapping that we did last year was just for the new section. We budgeted this year for additional mapping to continue the process. So we are continuing the mapping of the cemetery to get an overall complete map of what we have and what's available, and then we're gonna go through all of our list of sold lots and try to consolidate that and come up with a concise, complete, computer detailed list in Excel, as well as a map outlining everything that we have at the cemetery.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, roll call?
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Next item, consider approval for council vacancy to be filled by anybody that's nominated. Now, the way we need to go about this, if you wish to be considered, we need to compose the list now. Some of you have already contacted Keith. Some of you have not. If you are interested, please stand up so we know that we got whoever wants to be on the list. Okay, Keith, look and make sure.
It's just these two. Tim, you can sit down. Miss Becky, you can sit down. Mr. Randolph, Mr. Bilbrey, and Mr. Winningham.
Okay, is there anybody not present that had contacted you previously?
Tracy Duncan had contacted me previously, said she couldn't be here. She did send an email to me and to you, wishing to be considered for that position still.
Okay, and that's the only one you got?
It's the only one I have.
Okay, y'all have any more? Okay, what we're gonna do is each one of those folks that wish to speak, we'll have each one of you to approach the podium in case the council has somebody that some questions they want to ask you. Now, from that step, it will be up to the council members to nominate who to put on list number 2. List number 2, we will devise tonight. There'll be 30 days, our next meeting, we will appoint somebody, or we'll bring it back, because that gives each one of the members up here to address each one of the folks that maybe they think of something after they leave here tonight. Okay? All right. Other comment, discussion, anything?
No. Keep doing that pen.
The pen. Okay, yeah, I was like, thank you. Okay, who's first on the list?
Mr. McPherson.
Okay, sir. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Tim McPherson. Lived in Allgood for the past 10 years. 10 years before that, lived in Cookeville. The 10 years before that, I lived in Allgood. 10 years before that, I lived in Cookeville. So, of my 40 years, I've lived in Allgood 20. When we first moved to Allgood, I couldn't, man, I was 10 years old and I did not want to move here. Not for anything did I want to live in Allgood. 10 years later, I did not want to move. And when my wife and I started a family, bought our own house, I was like, only one place to go, back to Allgood. And raising my 2 kids, Skylar, who's 6, Magnus, who is 2. And I just want Allgood to be the best place possible for them to grow up in.
Okay. City Council have any questions for Ms. McPherson you'd like to ask?
Did you go to school in Allgood?
Yeah, I went to Allgood school from 4th through 9th grade, 87, through 91. Then I went on to CHS, graduated CHS, went to Tech, did not graduate, 2 years at Tech, did not finish up. I would like to go back and finish up. I was going to be a history teacher, so that's my education. I was a member, while I was at Tech, I was a member of Alpha Phi Omega, the National Service Fraternity, and served as pledge master for 1 semester, in which I had the largest pledge class that the chapter had in 5 years. That's not to say a lot, it was only 4 people, we were a very small chapter. But that's my education background as best as I can say.
Okay. If appointed this position, would you run in the next election to keep your seat?
That'd be like 2020, right, or 2018, or?
Whenever it comes up?
Yeah, whenever, yeah.
It's
of course.
2020, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay. Any other questions? Okay,
No.
thank
That's good. Thank you very much.
Ms. Morrison.
I'm Becky Morrison. I live here in town. I've been here since 2008. I lived in Cookeville, grew up there, left after high school and graduation, went to Florida, went to college, graduated, got a bachelor in human resources. And I've been back home for almost 10 years now. And I cut hair at Vickers Barbershop. And last year and early this year, I attended council meetings because I wanted to see what was going on within our county or our city. And I want to be part of something that makes a difference. And if you all have any questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
If appointed this position, would you run in the next election to keep your seat?
I think it depends on the harmony of this council. I think there's been a lot of division, and our town has a really bad reputation when it comes to our government.
How would you fix that?
I would try to let people know in our community that these council meetings were going on, invite them, be clear about what's going on with the agenda, and be transparent to them. Because I think especially people my age, which I'm 48, a lot of people are not aware. A lot of people don't get the newspaper. A lot of people really rely on social media. And unless they have a connection or something that they're trying to fix maybe with their property, they might not be interested in coming. But I think it's a good thing to try to get a younger crowd in here.
Okay. Any questions?
How would you get a young crowd in here?
Promotion, social media. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Randolph?
My name's Bobby Randolph. I've lived here since 1997. I've owned and operated the Allgood City Diner most of those years. I've been on the council for 4 years. I've been on the Board of Zoning Appeals. And yeah, I'd run again if I got appointed.
All right. Any other questions? All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bilbrey?
Bill Bilbrey, moved to Allgood in 1984, spent almost 9 years in the military, retired from the Highway Patrol Communications Division, owned a store here in Allgood for several years. I was president of the T-Ball League for approximately 5 years.
A lot of public service in there.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's on volunteer fire department for probably 17, 18 years.
Okay. And if appointed that position, would you run again?
Yes.
If at the end of your term? Okay. All right. Questions?
That's here in Allgood, right?
Yes, sir.
Check. That's a lot of service.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Mr. Winningham?
Hello, sir.
Scott Winningham, 49 years old. I've lived here in Allgood since '96. Go to church here at Trinity across the street. Been there since before that. Run a small tree landscape company. Work for some Tennessee Tech. Do some work for the state, local residents, so forth. I don't know. What do you want to know? That'd be the big thing. I mean, I can tell you a lot of things about myself, but they're not pertinent to this situation. So.
Well, that's what we're looking for. So
Okay.
everybody gets to meet you and
Yeah.
puts a name with a face. But is there any questions?
How would you contribute to the city council?
Bringing a fresh set of eyes, maybe some, don't want to use the word common sense, but maybe a different mentality from things I've seen from the outside looking in. My exposure to the business world for the last 25, 30 years that I've been involved in. I've just seen some things, I'm not going to say things that need to be changed, but we have a golden opportunity here to make some very positive changes.
How would you contribute to the beautification of Allgood? Do you see changes that the city could make in its landscape?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
And do you have the capability of helping out in that area?
Would you mean as advisory
Well,
or
you
actually doing the work?
Trees, right?
Well, I do trees
Plants
and
and
landscaping. That's
things,
pretty much all I do.
landscaping.
Yes.
You could form a committee
Well, yeah.
and create some beauty across the city.
Surprised Allgood's not tried to attempt to have a tree and landscape board, just to be quite honest, which is a simple thing to do. I'm not gonna say that we need to do it because Cook will do it,
No,
does
you
it?
know we do.
But you'd be, oh, you do have a tree and landscape board?
No, you
Oh.
know we need to.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, it's not to run around and run with an iron fist and rule and tell everybody what to do. It's more of an educational, advisory position, committee more than anything, just to help people. So, no different than the city of Cookeville hiring a city forester or an urban forester for the city. You just go, you're there to help. And yes, you can make plans and initiate them if you want to. So yes, I could help. That's what you need done.
So you have landscaping experience, is that
Yes,
right?
quite a bit, yes.
You actually do work for the state, is that correct? Contract with them as well?
I do contract work for the state and several other state entities. So you personally know a few, so you've seen me there working. So
Yeah, outer state capital.
Yeah.
So, all right. If appointed this position, would you run in the next election
Most
to keep your
definitely.
seat? Okay.
most definitely.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, let's see, walked in. Mr. Sullivan, I think you were late getting here. Are you still interested in the position?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, Mr. Morrison had your name that you'd contact him. You was just late getting here. But you're here now. Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name's Philip Sullivan. I've lived here for about the last 3 to 4 years, and I'd just like to improve Allgood. It's already a beautiful town, and it just needs to come forward. I retired from the Department of Transportation about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And Tracy Duncan also is on the list. She sent an email, but she's not here to respond. Is there any discussion so far? All right, I think what we need to do is to take nominations now from that list, and I think everybody's got the list down. Devising our second list. This list is something that we can vote on next meeting if you want to, or if you want to just take it and vote from that list tonight. I mean, that next time is going to give you time to contact folks and discuss them if you want to. Maybe something come up you can't think of.
Yeah.
We good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Floor is now open by the council to nominate from that list. You can nominate as many as you want or whoever you want. Floor is open.
So we just tell you a nomination? or
Yeah,
the
just
gentleman and
yeah.
lady to-
Tell us who the nomination that you're putting out there.
Okay, Scott and Bobby.
Scott Winningham and Bobby. Okay.
What is it, I mean, how does this go? Do we just pick everybody? I mean.
Well,
it's-
no, I
assume
mean,
just
you're gonna have to vote.
everybody talk
Well, no, here's the thing. You're nominating them, and then this is to narrow the list down, and then the council will vote from this list next,
In 30 days. or
in
at
30
the
days, our next meeting, at our next council meeting. Okay, so we have two nominations.
Bill Bibby and Becky.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I got mine, so
Mine
the list
too.
is complete.
Mine too. Okay. So we've got it narrowed down to Scott Winningham, Bobby Randolph, Bill Bibby, and Becky Morrison. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Okay, sorry, I forgot your name. All right, those are the four that have been brought forth now, and we will be placed on the agenda to be voted on next month. You four, make sure that Keith has got every one of your phone numbers, probably already does. That way he can send it out to the council members in an email, and that way they can contact you if need be. Okay?
So should we get a approval for the council vacancy list to be this final list?
Sure. Yeah. So we'll make a,
I'll move, just that. This final list will be the list that we choose our next council member from.
I'll second it. Okay? Motion second.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Okay. Consider approval for MTAS to conduct the recruiting for the police chief with a report back of the top blank number of candidates for the position. Okay, discussion wise, I think we've all talked about this,
And we had the gentleman come up from MTS and talk to us about the department
talked
and
to it
everything.
as well, so,
What is the general consensus on this, or, excuse me, rule of thumb, I should say? Is it usually top 3 or a 5? Is that a number that is normal?
did they say?
Depends on the council, usually 3 to 5. I think 3 is probably the more normal.
Okay.
5 is probably the maximum.
I think he said 5 was the maximum.
Go with 5? You gonna go with 3? What do you think?
If you get it down to 3, you're getting down to what you like. So I'll make a motion that they report back with the top 3 candidates.
Okay. Also, do we have an address that they can send these applications directly to MTask?
We do. I'll get that when I call MTAS and give them this information. MTAS will do some of the advertising. We may have to do it in the local paper, but they'll have the address and all of that that has to be sent to.
Let's try to advertise as many places as we can to increase our pool that we can to get the best applicants that we can get. And that way, we can, and when do we want to start our application date? The official application date?
What is today's date? August 8th?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, run it for 2 weeks,
I agree.
as
14
many
days
places
at
as
least.
we can get it.
Okay.
And with,
You're starting it today and ending it in 2 weeks because you realize it takes at least 3 days to get it in the newspaper.
yeah,
Well, let's just start it.
What if you start it Sunday? and
Let's
run
start
for
it
2 weeks?
Sunday, which is 13? Is that correct?
That's a bad number.
yeah, 13.
Start
August-
on the 14th on a Monday.
August 4th.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sunday's the 13th.
Okay, Monday, August 14th to run for 2 full weeks, 14 days. And that'll be the application period. Is that good with everybody?
Do we
Is
put-
2 weeks long enough?
I'm not sure. That may be something we need to discuss with MTAS before we limit it to 2 weeks because they may need longer to get proper advertisement.
Well, that's true.
Do we put in how much the
They'll
pay
put it
scale?
online. They'll, why don't we just tell MTAS the top 3 and then I'll get with them and figure out what all they need and how long and when the deadline will be.
Well,
And
at
then
least
they'll
we,
take it all.
yeah, do you think the 14th will be a good start date with them, or?
It's a possibility it could be.
Okay.
Send it out when we get the specifics out
I
to
will.
every council member, so that way everybody check your email. That way if people's contacted you, you know to let them know, hey, you better get it in. And here's the address to send it to MTask. So, and those instructions, they can call here and get those instructions
They
from
will. We'll
anybody.
post them online as well.
Okay? All right. All right, consider approval for
on.
MTask.
Yep, I've got a motion on the floor for 3 candidates. All I need is a second.
Well, that's what we're fixing to do right here. That's what I was fixing to do.
Okay.
Consider approval for MTask to conduct recruitment for the police chief with a report back of the top 3 candidates for the position.
That is my motion.
Motion second on the floor. Roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Consider approval for the city administrator to blank for land for future park development. Would you like to speak on that?
Dr. Hurd had asked that this be placed on the agenda. There is some land that is going up for auction that is off of Main Street that he asked that we consider we look at. If you all authorize that bidding to take place, we'll need to set it at fair market value and determine how you want to handle that.
Okay. They're not making any more land in Allgood.
Nope.
So we've got property here that we need to park, we want to park, we got the money to put the park there, and the citizens want the park.
And I've been on record as saying I don't care what it takes,
I
we're
know.
gonna have one.
All right.
So what type of acreage, just, are we looking at?
Just under 10 acres.
Just under 10, okay. And that'd be a nice sized park for the city.
It would be. It would be.
What do you think? Dr. Hurd?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we just need to consider the approval to appoint, and you gotta have somebody to stand in and do it, and then they can bring numbers back later. So,
Would,
for,
are we, Keith, are we authorizing you to bid on this?
You can, unless you want to authorize someone else to do it.
I think you're the best person for the job, so I'll make that motion for City Administrator Bilbrey to bid at fair market value for this land for a future park.
Bilbrey or Morrison?
Morrison,
You said Bilbrey.
did I?
Yeah.
My apologies. City Administrator Keith Morrison.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. We have a motion. I'll second. Roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Okay. And consider approval to purchase 2017 Mack Hill commercial garbage truck for the, did I miss? I'm sorry, I did. Consider approval of the city recorder position to be filled by, those, Keith, we have in-house, who do we have that, to be considered?
Ann Flatt and Marlon Francis are our two in-house that would be capable of filling the position. She's here
Yeah,
somewhere.
she's better than Beck.
Ann, would you like to step up and speak to the council on that?
Well, I just want to say, I want to thank Keith and whoever was involved to get that gave me the opportunity to learn some new things in the office. I want to take whatever position, a new position where I can learn new things, but I know Marlon would like to have city recorder, and I would be just as happy taking on her position, so either one would be good for me. I'd just like to learn new things.
So we split the duties up and gave folks a raise to help cover it. In essence, so to speak, this could only be just a title rather than changing duties or swapping duties, a possibility. Is that something that you would be comfortable keeping your current rate
Yes,
and taking it on? Okay.
yes.
Okay. Any other?
Are you fairly familiar with everything that the city recorder does? I know you've had a short window from February, is that correct? From February up to this point to work. And by the way, I know everybody in the office has been working. I know that. It's not gone unnoticed. But are you familiar with everything that is necessary to be the city recorder?
Well, I don't know all that's involved in it, but I have taken on city court clerk. I've got that. Property taxes, I've got that. Business license, I've got that. I'm currently learning the cemetery just to kind of be a point of contact to help Victor out when people calls or comes into the office, that I can help them to see what sites, grave sites are available to be purchased. So I'm involved, starting to get involved with that. As far as I've been keeping up the books, Keith does the minutes, the ordinances, and the resolutions, and then, of course, I just make copies and put into the books. And so, little by little, I'm learning. I'm sure there's a lot more to be learned.
With each passing day, I'm sure,
Yes.
because that's just the way the world turns now. The laws will change tomorrow, so.
Yes.
It was said, or I caught rumor that you didn't feel adequate in an area that was court and citations, and that you came in on the weekend to kind of get a jump on that and to learn that. Did you do that?
I did do that.
Okay, that's good.
I-
Shows
I
initiative.
taught myself how to do
That
court.
shows initiative. That's good. And nobody asked you to do that, did they?
No,
Okay, all righty.
but I did ask for permission to come in and for the.
Of course, of course. All right,
Good answer.
all right. That's a good thing. Okay. Other questions? Nope. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Marlin? Hello. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what, if you were appointed recorder, what would you do? What would you change?
I've been with All Good for 6.5 years. I've known Carolyn and Kurt and got to know the other two of you along the way. And I really appreciate the city of All Good giving me the opportunity to continue my education and get my CMFO certificate. And I have conquered the software so that we can get timely financial statements. However, I am having trouble getting them out. You didn't have them in your packet because we're working on the audit. So we've got June open, we got July open, and we got August open. And I take a lot of pride in the accuracy of my work, and that has not been the case here lately. Everybody makes mistakes, and I do make mistakes, have all along, every now and then, but the amount of mistakes like key punch errors, that kind of thing, and it's been frustrating. But I think what I would like for you to understand is what all we do, and that's why I invited you to come talk to Ann and I. It wasn't about ideas or to tell you how to run the city. It was more about me educating you about what I do. I don't know if the city recorder position was divided fairly. I don't know how anyone came up with that. But I do know when I said yes, I never dreamed it would affect my accounting position and my life and my health. And I felt like that if you understood what we do, you would be more aware of how much we need a full-time person. And if you were more aware of what we do, and that is Keith's job, that's my job, that's the city recorder's job, that was Ann's utility job, that's Brooklyn's job. If you knew what all we do, and why wouldn't you want to know? Then you could help us and Keith divide the responsibilities, make the changes where we want, and I would be happier. I have always had goals. So the city recorder position is not just a title. It is a lot of responsibility. So is the accountant and the city administrator. And the reason I'm mentioning this, I don't have the opportunity. This is the only forum I've had to speak. I've not had a professional review or salary review in 6.5 years. And I think that it's time for you to understand how my education and the investment that you made to me could help you and help me grow. I mean, that's what we go to college for, and we get our extra education for, and those extra responsibility and management is worth $1. It's worth being considered as a promotion, and that is why I want city recorder. I know the work. I haven't done everything, but I do know that Keith and Ann and I work very well together. But I do consider it a promotion and want to work for a city that is open-minded and looking to the future and building its employees and educating them and letting us know what you're interested in. I mean, we get information about new laws like the new Improve Act. I love the title. I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's the Improve Act. We just got that, and Keith and I was talking about, it explains about state and local taxes. It explains about property tax relief, the changes. It doesn't affect our city in all areas of that act, but it does some. But it does affect Putnam County, and we also live in Putnam County in Tennessee. And like I said, I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate you educating me. But the state does require that I have continuing education every year. Whoever gets city recorder will have to carve out the time to do that. I already carved out the time for my CMFO certification. And that, I think y'all understand what that is. I'm proud of it.
We do.
I don't feel like I've been recognized in compensation for that, so I would be expecting a salary review. Keith, do you want to talk about another option?
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what your qualifications are and to handle that.
Well,
that comes next.
Huh?
That will be later.
Okay.
As far as what other options, we're here to
I had no idea of what to expect this evening. I didn't know.
What we're looking for is you trying to sell yourself to the council.
Okay.
Not talking about what we're going to do later. And I'm going to ask you the same question. If you were appointed recorder tonight, would you be content with the salary you're making now? Obviously, and I think you already answered that, but your answer was?
I would like to answer that. It would depend on the job description.
Something you said too was that the jobs. Let's see, how'd you put it? It affected your position, your health, and your life.
Yes.
On that, it's a pretty stressful position. I realize that.
Not the city recorder position, Mayor. It affects. I'm doing, 2 jobs. And that's what I wanted you to understand. I'm not doing a third of the city recorder.
So what I'm gathering then, you're not happy with the way things were divvied up.
I think we thought it was a good idea, and I don't think it worked. I don't think the city recorder position can be absorbed.
Well, I don't think that's the council's position to micromanage the city administrator. That's his job to fix that.
I agree.
So have you referred that information to him?
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations, and I think that there's pros and cons for myself to be city recorder. For example, I can get the city recorder certification immediately with my college education and the continuing education. Sometimes it takes a year or so to do that. And trust me, I would vote for Ann Flatt for anything she wanted.
All right. Any other questions?
Sounds like you got a lot on you, Ann.
I do, and I just want you to recognize that. The accounting position has got a lot of responsibility to the city. It's in a key position, so is city recorder. But, I mean, the feedback that I get in my classes and the information out there, the city recorder would be perceived as a promotion.
Okay.
I would like to say one thing, and it's just strictly my opinion on a comment that you made, that we basically run the city. I just want to disagree with you to a certain degree, okay?
I said that?
Yes, ma'am.
I said I run the city?
No, you said the council basically runs the city, and I want to clarify my opinion to you on
Okay.
that statement.
Okay.
And that is this: we were elected
Right.
to make and listen to recommendations from the city manager, our employees, and the citizens of this town. And those recommendations that we make and those decisions that we make do affect a lot of people's lives.
Right.
However, the city is actually run by the people who live here and work here, the day-to-day operations people.
Right.
That's the city manager, yourself, Ms. Flatt, Mr. Jones and his crew,
Right.
Captain Swallows and the police department. They actually run, quote unquote, the city
Oh,
of
yeah,
Allgood.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. And I appreciate you voicing that. You always seem to have something to say.
Much to
the-
a lot of people's
Yeah.
disbelief and dislike, I'm sure.
Is this like an interview where I can ask questions?
No. This is to
This
appoint.
is not an interview?
No,
No,
ma'am.
it's appointed by us. It's not an interview.
It's a what?
It's appointed by us.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
No more questions?
Not from us. Okay? More? All right, thank you, Ms. Marlin. Okay, that brings us to consider approval for the city recorder position to be filled. Is there? I nominate Ann Flatt.
I'll second.
Motion second on the floor. Roll call vote.
I would like to resign as the accountant.
That's, you're out of order. You can, please be seated. You cannot address the council unless you're recognized. It's in the middle of a motion. If there's something you want to say, you can bring it up after, and at the council, at the delegations of the citizens, okay? Now, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer,
Yes.
Honorable Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Hurd.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Brings us to our next item. Consider approval to purchase a 2017 Mack Heil commercial garbage truck for $299,839.
Forgot to change the year on that.
Okay. It's a 2018, sorry. And the reason, Keith, would you like to speak to that?
This is a National Joint Purchasing Alliance membership purchase that we have joined. It's free membership. It allows us to purchase off of an alliance. The state auditor recognizes it, State Comptroller's Office. Our auditor has recognized it and said it is okay. We call Stringfellow, give them our membership number. They basically give us a price that's already pre-built, pre-quoted. When I first got this going, they had quoted us a 2017 Mack Heil commercial garbage truck with everything that Victor had asked for on it for $294,785. Before we could get to council, that truck had already sold from the lot. So now it would require the purchase of a 2018 Mack Heil commercial garbage truck for $299,839, and that is a brand new fully loaded, has the Corrado can. It will do the automated residential trash as well as the commercial trash. I know we had some concern about using that same truck for residential that wouldn't fit down some of the streets. After talking with the operator, Tony, and Victor Jones, Public Works Director, this truck, even if it wouldn't fit down the small streets, would keep our guys off of the back of the truck on a main street. They would only have to get on the back of a backup truck for small side secondary streets. All the other main thoroughfares could be picked up with this truck in the event the other one was broke down, further preventing our guys from being in danger. And I honestly believe this price with the Corrado can is as cheap as you're going to get a straight commercial truck anyway.
Refresh, I guess, the council's memory, what was our original line item number on that, Keith?
330,000. And this is what
Right.
basically the truck would look like.
Okay. So this membership basically saved us about 30,000.
Basically, what the membership does is it's almost like pre-bid. They go out and get pre-bids on the items, and then we're allowed to use their bidding to get the price, and then we use our membership to purchase through that bid price. So all of these prices have been preset, and we're just using the Alliance to do the purchase to satisfy our bidding requirements.
Before we make that motion, let me reread that, because I didn't get it all in. I
Sure.
stopped.
Sure.
That's consider approval to purchase 2018 Mack Howe commercial garbage truck for $299,839 from Stringfellow with our NJPA membership.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Second, motion second on the floor, roll call vote.
Mayor Bilbrey?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer?
Yes.
Honorable Norris?
Yes.
Honorable Hurd?
Yes.
Consider approval to repair the water department service truck in the amount of $16,952.25. Keith?
This is the truck we bought 2 years ago. It was a used truck when we bought it. It was the service truck we purchased for water sewer for Carl Jones to drive. It's an 09 truck. How many miles are on that engine? 78,000 miles on the engine. We'd recently had it come in with a bad knocking sound in the engine, and it has ground flat a camshaft in the bottom of the engine, causing major damage, and has sent metal shavings back up into the engine, and we're not going to be able to repair that engine. The two options, the one here for $16,000 is a complete new Ford engine directly from Ford with all the components on it, with 3-year unlimited mileage warranty. The other option would be to buy a Jasper engine for about $5,000 less, but we would have to use our turbo, our injectors, a lot of the major components on the other engine, and there would be no warranty on those components, and there would only be a 1-year warranty on the major portion of the engine. So after discussing with Director Jones, I think the new engine's our best option, but it was over our limit, so we need approval to do this repair. It is a Ford factory direct engine replacement.
Well, knowing a little bit about the 6.4, they're bad for this. They are. I don't know if it's a design flaw or what it is when the engine was first introduced, but they are bad for this. I like 3-year unlimited mileage warranties. I like the fact that, and if I'm understanding correctly, basically you're gonna plug this thing straight in.
That's correct. It's basically pull the old engine out, unplug it, drop this one in, plug it back in, fill it full of fluid, and it's ready to go.
Well, I'll move approval.
Motion on the floor, second. Okay, motion second on the floor?
Mayor Bilbrey?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dyer?
Yes.
Honorable Norris?
Yes.
Honorable Hurd?
Yes.
Brings us to a city administrator's report.
The Main Street paving project, you all had asked for me to work with the engineer and look at some options. The option he came up with was to pave from Burton Branch down to Sonic, and the estimate he came up with is $245,000. That is grinding, repaving, redoing the loops for all the traffic lights. It is redoing the crosswalks and restriping that section of road. Also, it is including a heavier duty asphalt concrete surface type hot mix. It's a heavier duty for that traffic that's going in and out of Walmart that's causing the rubboard effect, as well as any concrete curb and gutter adjustments that would be required to get that back up and running.
If I may ask, when was the last time that was paved? Okay. So basically, all we've done is maybe do a patch job here and there at best.
Any sidewalk construction in that possibly could throw in on the both sides of the street?
That did not include any sidewalk construction, because it wouldn't mess up any of the current sidewalk. It's only the repair for the street and the heavier duty pavement around the Walmart entrances and exits.
We could do that on a different item.
Yeah. Have it tie in with Cooper and
Yep.
tie in on the other side of the street of Walmart toward the apartments. Is that what's there? Is that correct? Across from the used car lot? Or those apartments that are across?
Some type where the old Masters. used to
Right,
be.
right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Department
Anything?
heads.
Okay, that brings us to the hearing and/or citizens and/or delegations. If you'd like to comment, please approach the podium, directing your comments directly to the chair.
Good evening.
Hello, Ms. Bennett. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Mayor Bilbrey, thank you for allowing me to speak. I am the spokesperson for the All Good Action Committee, and I have a question. Why was Justin Medlin not decertified? I realize that All Good City does not decertify its officers, but the City of All Good should have written to the Post requesting that this officer be decertified for his behavior.
Well, it's something we haven't discussed here. Who would handle that, Keith, to be decertified? Would that be the council member, or would that be city administrator? Would that be the captain, or how would that work?
Probably us through legal counsel.
Through legal counsel,
Yes.
okay. We'd have to get legal counsel to instruct us to do that, or how to do that, I guess, or follow through with it.
Okay.
That's your question.
Then I have a statement. We, the All Good Action Committee, are amazed that the City of Allgood requested that Ashley Thrope be disqualified for falsifying her employment application with the City of Allgood. She was decertified. But Justin Medlin, based on records we received from the city, was using city equipment to solicit sex from multiple females, as well as sending photos of his genitalia to multiple women, including 2 female city employees who were terminated. To make matters worse, he was allowed to resign when female employees were not given the same courtesy. Dana Looper, a female police officer, was fired for a much lesser offense. At best, the Action Committee sees this as a double standard and at worst, sexual discrimination. It seems males are given special treatment and females are terminated, and the city questions why we are constantly sued. It should be obvious. I bet Ms. Militana will not put this in the newspaper.
Ms. Bennett, we will look into that. Actually, we'll get in touch with legal counsel. We don't want it to appear, and I know none of the elected officials up here, I'll speak for me, think that there's any difference. I don't want to see any difference treated whether you're female or you're male. I think everybody should be treated the same. And that's something that we'll, as a council, we'll look into.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it should, because it appears that when females come,
Yeah.
they're not treated the same.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. for
Okay.
listening.
Keith, was legal counsel sought to decertify the, whatever the lady officer was she was talking about?
I'll have to check on that. I believe it was, yes.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Next.
Good evening. One of the things that I would like to thank you and the council for is that you did decide to use MTS to go through and get a police chief. Because when you start getting into selecting people, as you found out tonight, it gets a little bit interesting. But I did want to commend you guys for using the expertise that we already pay for to be able to help you to get your job done. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next. Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned, second.